What's up, Rude Nation? It's your boys, the RudeBoyz, coming through you with the power of the internet and Zoom and the tubes for RudeBoyz Power Hour Plus episode 105? 106? Oh man, we're getting so old. We're getting up there. I'm Sherm.
I'm Tom.
And we are virtually recording. If you guys listen to the latest RudeBoyz Top 10, which is our top 10-ish Nintendo 64 games. Tommy's a little under the weather. He is fine. Tom, tell the nation you're fine.
I am perfectly fine. I got the test, came negative, and it's just, some stupid little cold that I just didn't want to shake, and I didn't want to, bring it to the studio.
Yeah, he didn't want to infect the masses, which I respect. I get that.
Yeah.
Being very precautious, as should you all, nation. All right, get your fucking vaccine. Don't fucking bullshit me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Get the vaccine.
So we got a fun show lined up for today. A topic that we all love. We just blindly love so much. The WWE. We're gonna talk about the state of the WWE and what the fuck is going on with them.
I enjoy shitting on the WWE.
Yes, you do. Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not so. Disclaimer, and we'll put this in it before we do the topic. We're not like hardcore fans. We love professional wrestling and we want it to succeed and we want everybody to do good. And when the leader, the American leader in professional wrestling is like just making mistake after mistake, we got to talk about it. It's just been the more and more writing is on the wall. And obviously the nation, the Rude, and the American nation need to hear from your boys as far as they need some guidance, and here we are to provide that, which is the first time anybody's ever said that we provide guidance.
And the universe and the WWE universe needs to
and the WWE universe. Yeah, should we upgrade it to the Rude universe, or is that too much? I think Rude Nation sounds pretty good, but Rude universe, I don't know.
We're getting there.
Any of our members, astronauts, or going to ride with Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, that weirdo, hit us up. Download the podcast so we can become universal.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll just throw our phone into space. I don't know. One or the other.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So let's move on. Tommy, who's in your mouth? What do you got? A little Daypool cocktail you got going on there? A little margarita?
Some seltzer. It's gonna be a fresh open.
Seltzer.
Shut up. Yeah, fresh open.
We'll see how that sounds through your phone, microphone, whatever.
Yeah.
To be fair, it is safe when you're not feeling well. You should not drink alcohol so your body fights the toxins and it can fight the virus.
Yeah.
Listen, how's that supposed to make you strong? Exactly.
Who's in your mouth there?
Who's in my mouth? I got some coffee with some Kraken dark rum, some black roast, some Irish cream.
Good.
Yeah. All right, we'll clink it up. I'll clink it to the desk. There we go. Delightful. I know I've mentioned this on air, but like the I don't know if it's the what am I trying? Maybe they changed the formula because for the Kraken black roast, it does not make my coffee as milky gray as normal. Okay. Yeah, because I like to drink poison, and I like it to show me that it's poison, and don't foo-foo it up. If I'm damaging my body, I want to see what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Maybe not the internals. That might scare me. Just like I'm consuming this dark concoction.
You don't want to take an X-ray of your body to see what's going on inside.
Yeah, definitely not. Probably for the best, especially let me tell you. I had wings the other night. Woof! I felt that for 48 hours later. Getting old.
I should order some mango habanero and
you should, man.
I'm sure that'll kick out anything.
That'll clear you up. Then your body's gonna shift focus and just purge.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. We've done enough lollygagging right now. So why don't we slip right on into Blitzkrieg news?
Yes. Starting off in Blitzkrieg, starting off in games as we always do.
Yes, we do.
PlayStation experience. Yeah, man, PlayStation's came out with some big shit this year.
Yep.
They put on their big boy pants this year.
They got their calendars mixed up. They thought E3 was last Wednesday. So because they didn't show up to E3. But we got, I mean, there were four big takeaways that I'll get of it. I mean, obviously everything looks pretty great coming out of the Sony camp, the PlayStation 5 camp. But the big takeaways, and I'll put this in a specific order for you boys. I think God of War Ragnarok looks really dope. God of War, I think 2018 when that came out, that was a really fun game. A different take of the God of War series, very story driven, very gorgeous. Definitely. And I believe this one is still coming out for PS4 and PS5. I don't remember the release date. I don't think it's this year. So it's looking more likely like 2022.
Yeah, I think everything was slated for 2022.
Well, no, there's something we'll talk about.
All right, cool.
Yeah. The Knights of the Old Republic remake put out by, I think Asfer is the company. They were the ones that did all the ports for the Star Wars game previous to the Switch and the PS4. So the Jedi Knights, the Star Wars Racers, they did all that stuff. So they're doing a ground up remake of KOTOR, which is pretty exciting. I dabbled very very smallly, very tinily in KOTOR because like I'm not an RPG guy and that is RPG as fuck. Like, you know, it's basically just dice rolls and shit like that. Like it's tremendous, but it's got a great story from what I understand. The plot twist has been spoiled to me from up and down. Tommy, you've dabbled a little bit with KOTOR or no?
Nope. Never.
Okay. So I'm excited that it's gonna come with a little more of a modern flair to it, the same way like Resident Evil 2 remake, hopefully. The same way Final Fantasy 7 remake, you know, like it kind of just updates everything while still keeping a lot of the charm to it. And what I'm excited for is that story is pretty iconic because it was like, you know, with LucasArts and everything like that. But like now this is post buyout. So is this going to be canonized? You know, like you're going to get, I know like Darth Revan was kind of like teased that he is canon or not, or he was in like an encyclopedia or some shit. But like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, nah, I saw that trailer. That trailer was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was like a nice teaser trailer. And it was like, yeah, okay, it's happening, and it's presumably just happening for PS5 and PC for now. I think it's like a console launch exclusive, but who knows? We'll see. It ain't coming to Switch. It's probably gonna be too nice. I just would like if the original came to Switch. Yeah, I'd buy it. I'd probably put like 25 minutes into it and be like, this game's not for me. If that, I think I put 20 minutes into the Xbox version.
Oh, okay.
It's also probably not the way to play a game like that. You probably got a mouse and keyboard it. You got to just have like that control style thing.
I don't know. I mean, I thought the same thing about Final Fantasy, but apparently there are people that use controller.
There are people that do it, but you know, for the simple minds, me, like I think I need you, and you use a keyboard and mouse from when you play 14, right? Yeah. So
I've seen people map their controllers like the hot bars, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. It's a tried and true method for some people. It ain't for me.
And then there are people who just plug in a wireless mouse keyboard into their PlayStation.
You can do that too. Absolutely.
Yep.
Maybe I should do that to the Xbox One. I could play it like that.
There you go.
There you go. I'm not doing that. But the bigger picture items that we want to talk about here. This one is the one that's coming out. At least it's penciled for 2023. Insomniac had announced, and they teased, gave you a little snippet of a trailer for Spider-Man 2. This one's gonna have Peter and Miles. You get a nice heavy Russian voice actor about hunting. It's clearly Chameleon, obviously.
I figured it was gonna be Norman Osborn.
It could be. Listen, he went abroad. Maybe he's like a Russian spy. Maybe it takes place in the Cold War. It goes back in time.
Oh shit.
Oh God. We're obviously talking about Tommy's boy Craven. Yep.
Hell yeah.
And but it could have just stopped there, you know. It could have just had like the threat of Craven against the Spider-Men, but no, they wanted to go. What's the phrase, Tommy?
Full anal.
And tease Venom. Voiced by Tony Todd is his name.
Tony Todd, who played the original Candyman.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. He sounds fucking spooky as hell. And it looks like they're doing like some early Venom, like spooky Venom stuff, not like campy, you know. Tom just read Lethal Protector for the last training the backs, like, you know, he's just transforming his suit in the uniforms. Like, no. Spooky Venom, baby.
Yeah, Tony Todd, he was in Final Destination movies.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was. But obviously his big claim to fame is Candyman, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
That
game looks that looked really good, and I was just like, wow. Okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, cool. I'm all right switching between Miles and Peter, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and Insomniac has said that this game is going to still be single player. Will that change from here to then? I don't know, but I mean, they really kind of laid their hat onto a single player story for Spider-Man and for Miles Morales. So I think it's going to remain that way and not be like a Gotham Knights drop in, drop out sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, that would be pretty dope. That might happen in the future, but it might not happen for Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Yeah. And then Insomniac hit us with a 1-2 punch, something I don't think anybody expected.
No.
Tom, you've seen this trailer multiple times. Walk us through it.
So it's, you know, you have a bar. You have a bar scene. Bar fight just broke out. Or it's the remnants of a bar fight. And there's some country music playing. And you see someone sitting at a bar, flannel, cowboy hat. You're like, wait a tech. And like, you know, he's sitting at the bar. They pan over. He's, you know, knuckles are all bloody. Some jabroni tries to get up in the back, pulls a knife. And then all of a sudden you just hear sneak. And yeah, it's Insomniac's doing a Wolverine game.
Yeah,
like,
I'm super hyped.
Holy shit. Like, was not expecting that at all. I'm super stoked for it. It's, you know, gotta be rated M.
I really hope it is. I mean, that does, you know, pigeonhole it a little bit, but like, it's Wolverine. Like, it's gotta be a little gruesome. I mean, Tom, the last big Wolverine game that came out, X-Men Origins Wolverine, was actually pretty well received for a real shitty movie it was attached to.
Yeah. Mark Hamill voiced Wolverine, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was put out by Raven Software. I was looking it up. Put out by Raven Software. But it was like a single player Wolverine game. And you're right, Mark Hamill was voicing Wolverine.
And I think Ravensoft, I think that might be one of the last games they did.
I think so, before they got like completely absorbed by Activision. But I that's a game I always want to kind of hunt down and check out. X-Men Origins. Not the movie, the video game.
Hey, you know what? I'll suffer through the movie.
Yeah. Oh boy, we might have to. If we go to the movies, we might have to.
There we go. I like that idea.
I'm surprised that Insomniac is taking another hit at a Marvel franchise, because I just assumed that Marvel. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think out of the two big Marvel games that have come out since Disney was like, all right, listen, we're reshuffling everybody. So Insomniac has got Spider-Man, and now Square Enix has the Avengers. I obviously the Insomniac game made the money, got the good critical reception. So I don't blame them. I think the same directorial team for Miles Morales is doing Wolverine.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. But like, you know, like you got the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which is also coming out with Square. which I think also got a trailer. You saw the Nova Corps. You saw Cosmo. So there's more stuff. Well, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, it's 2021. Now it's
no, yeah. Well, yeah. No, that's not. Yeah, it's an inside deep cut joke from you boys.
Yeah.
But I figured they would have just like divvied up their franchises to, what am I trying to say? To more appropriate developers. But after Spider-Man, like Insomniac could definitely do it. Don't get me wrong. Like Insomniac's big thing after or right before Spider-Man, in addition to Ratchet and Clank remake, was Sunset Overdrive, which is a big, kinetic moving, jumping around and shit. So it's like, okay, cool. I see it. They got it. They can do it. Then they could definitely do Wolverine. Insomniac can do no wrong, except for Haze. I think they did. Yeah, I don't know about that. One of those.
I know people were also saying that they kind of wish they did Daredevil instead of Wolverine.
Ooh, okay. I dig it.
Cool, but
yeah,
no. We know we know Tommy's love for Wolverine. So.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, Tom, if you could wish into existence a Wolverine game or a Daredevil game, I think we know which one it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean it's. I don't even want to say it's close. Like, it's nowhere near.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so super exciting PlayStation experience. Looks like your boys are gonna have to get a PS5. So
yeah.
Future.
Son of a bitch.
All right, what else we got in Blitzkrieg news?
We also have that's nothing in comics. Big shocker.
Huge shocker.
Movies. Venom 2 moves up to 10/1, which I believe was a week or two?
It was a week or two, yeah. I think with the Shang-Chi, it's strong opening. Sony's like, oh shit, we gotta get it in now. We gotta get it in. We gotta move it up just in case. God forbid the world shuts down again. But it's like we gotta hit while that iron's still hot.
Yeah. And then I was also seeing that if Spider-Man fails, that it's possible that all like Spider-Man properties may get bought back by Marvel eventually.
Yeah.
So like they don't want anything to fail in their little Sony Spider-Man universe.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't think Venom's gonna fail. I think the only thing against it would be outside influences, with the world and whatnot. But I think Venom 2, the first one did excellent for them. It still is attached to Spider-Man, even though it's, it is and it isn't. Character-wise in the universe, it is, but in the actual movie, it's not. But I think it looks. I think it looks good. Like it's definitely. It could definitely make money.
Yeah. Or it could be a trash heap.
Yeah.
There's always that. I actually did see something I forgot to put on the notes was
breaking news.
The new Halloween movie, Halloween Kill, will be showing up on
oh boy. Here we go.
theaters and Peacock same day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
don't fact check Destination. Tom might have literally fever dreamed of that.
I don't think I did.
All right.
I'm not 100% sure I didn't.
Gotcha.
But I'm about 85% sure I
85. That's better than some news outlets. So there you go.
Exactly.
Cool.
So yeah, that's that. Upcoming Avatar, The Last Airbender movies will be all CG. So why not just make it animated?
I mean, yeah, I really don't get that. I really do not understand. I think, you know what, like, to speak a little inside baseball, I think the technology is at a point where it's like almost cheaper to do shit with computer graphics than hire animators and draw shit or, simulate the old style, you know what I mean? Which sucks, especially because like that series was tremendous when it comes to like hand-drawn art style.
Yeah, there's also no reason for these movies. I don't believe.
Well, again, I think that's just this is Paramount, I guess. Yeah. So I mean, or the Avatar Studio, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know, but it's just listen, it's a franchise. Marvel has proven to everybody that you need a big time franchise, motherfuckers. All right. So they've got their avatars. We're gonna talk about another franchise that hasn't seen the light of day in at least a decade.
And DC has proven that you can completely fuck up a franchise.
Oh yeah, no. Also Universal with their Dark Universe with the fucking monster movies.
That's a goddamn shame.
Yeah, no, I agree. But again, they tried to Marvelize that shit. They should have just done it different.
Do your own thing. Stop trying to copy someone's homework.
Their homework was like 100 though. And it was 100. It was 105. They got extra credit. Like they did a good job. But you're right. You can't capture lightning in a bottle twice.
Nope.
You know that saying.
Trailer talk. Injustice movie.
Okay.
Injustice animated movie, I should say.
Yeah.
Is hitting October 19th.
Yep. October 19th.
Yeah, October 19th.
Tom, stay on brand, buddy.
What?
Stay on brand.
Yeah. RudeBoyz 19th. Sorry.
Thank you.
Shut up. I'll
put it this way. It looks like shit. There you go. You know why? Because we sat through Mortal Kombat, Scorpion's Legacy, or whatever the hell, and we're just like, this is ugly. And guess what? It's the same art style. It's just it doesn't look good. Like Injustice is a good story. Like the plot is great. It's a great video game. Tom read the books.
Great comics.
It just doesn't look nice, It's like it's now like WB animation is like just homogenizing itself to just draw one way.
Give me this Injustice like in the Bruce Timm style.
I did that. Or just another fucking art style, like just different. Like you got the heavy lines and stuff. Ugh.
As shitty as Hush was, the art style wasn't bad.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know, like all the DC or the Warner Brothers animation movies leading up to Scorpion's Revenge or whatever. But like prior to that, how did they look? Like if Hush was the one that came out right before that, Hush looked good.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of The Killing Joke. That looked fine.
Batman versus Ninja Turtles looked good.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. This art design, I don't know. I'm not digging it. I don't know if they're trying to like make everything kind of like it, like when Bruce Timm was fucking king of the world, like they made his shit as close as possible. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're just trying to do something similar. Like they're just trying to like keep everything homogenized, and I don't know. I don't think it looks good. Great story. Why not? We'll watch it when it hits streaming.
Hopefully, it'll hit HBO Max, which I gotta see if Long Halloween has hit HBO Max yet.
No, I don't know. It's weird because these are all direct to DVD, so like that agreement is probably not the same as theatrical release. So they probably still have like it's in stores for 90 days and then it'll hit streaming, So like go buy it, asshole.
Go buy you slob.
Yeah, like you gotta leave the house, dick.
Yeah.
Or a video on demand, I'm sure. That's exists. So you can still leave the house, you dick.
Another movie that's coming out that hasn't seen the light of day in decades.
There it is.
As my beautiful co-host said.
Thank you.
The Matrix 4 Resurrections.
Resurrections is the yep. Yeah, it's real hard to keep track of these fucking subtitles.
Comes out December 22nd.
Yep, that's missing 2 on my bad. Yep.
No, you put December 2nd.
It's 22nd.
Oh yeah. You're horrible then.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, I was off by 20 days. What are you gonna do?
You asshole.
All right. So Matrix 4. I don't know. It looks cool. I've been fooled before though when it comes to these Matrix movies.
I've been hurt before.
Yeah. Like Matrix was one good movie and a couple good cartoons.
Right.
And then that was it. The 2 and 3 were just garbage fires. Might have to do that for go to the movies.
Oh,
Matrix is so good though.
Matrix is so
When
bad.
it came out in '99, man, that was fucking revolutionary.
It was like
I'm not talking about Matrix Revolutions.
yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No,
The 2 Matrix movies after the Matrix.
there were no movies after the Matrix.
Yeah, you're right.
Even though I saw them, I literally that was the third Matrix movie was the last movie I saw by myself.
Huh.
In a theater specifically because it was just like I was just like I guess I gotta go watch this fucking movie. So I was like off from work one day and I just went to the movie theater. Sad. It was just a sad experience, and I think my car died in the parking lot. So it was just a triple sad moment.
What was it? I saw this meme where it's like this was, I'm sorry, it's 2021. I should be afraid of the Matrix of living in a computer simulation that takes place in 1999.
Yeah, true.
I don't see a downside of this.
Very true.
Plug me the fuck in.
Yeah, the seems kind of like rebootish, but using the same characters and actors and stuff like that. So I don't know. This is also hitting HBO Max at the same time, December 22nd. So we might have to check it that way because I am not. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not being fooled again.
Yeah, exactly. My HBO subscription has already covered it, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that we're sharing HBO Max profiles. Just saying. Just need to put that out there. Just saying.
We don't. I come to your house and we watch it.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes,
he does.
I don't got shit.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know this man. I've never met this man.
Exactly. That is it for Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, that's it for Blitzkrieg news.
That might be one of them. That might be one of the blitziest Blitzkriegs.
I feel like you say that after every 40-minute Blitzkrieg. All right.
Chris.
Yes.
I had a barbecue last weekend.
Did you? Did my invite get lost in the mail?
I was missing some ketchup.
Yeah, because you don't like ketchup. If only you invited me, I would have brought the ketchup. So allow me to bring the ketchup to you right now. Rude Nation, as you heard me last week. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to hear that on the recording. I stepped all over you again. I'm sorry. Virtual recordings are just convenient, but what are you gonna do? So last episode. Okay, here we go. Last episode, Rude Nation. I was talking about Psychonauts. I finished up the first game. A lot of fun. I sounded like I poo-pooed a little bit on the franchise. There is a certain amount of it's not, you're not playing a goddamn Super Mario game. It's not like mint. It's not perfect, but it's still very good in the high tier of platforming games.
That's a lot better than any Sherm. It's fine.
Yes, no, absolutely. Because after I got a chance to digest what I played, because I played the entire franchise since last recording. So I finished up Psychonauts 1. I got through, and I remember before we recorded last time, I got to the last level, which is called the Meat Circus. Yeah, I'm waiting for the. Yep, there it is. I saw the face break. Yep.
Love going to the Meat Circus.
Yep. And in my mind, I'm like, it was bad like 10 years ago. It can't be that bad. Oh, it's bad because it's like an escort mission and there's timed moments of it, and it's like, woof, this is bad. But I still got through it, and overall, that game is great. Psychonauts 1. I played the PlayStation VR game, Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin.
Wow, look at you! You went full Psychonauts.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I had the game, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, I have the VR, it's hooked up. I wanted to play that fucking
Ooh,
Vader Immortal game. I just never got around to it. So I'm like, all right, VR still hooked up. Let me play Psychonauts. So I played Rhombus of Ruin. Rhombus of Ruin is a fun experience. It's very much like Arkham. What was the fucking VR game? Was it just Arkham VR?
I think
I don't.
so.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah, something like that. But it's like that, you know. It just takes like
okay.
the Arkham style and it's VR. Rhombus of Ruin takes the Psychonaut style and makes it VR. Like it's very guided. It's very it is kind of simple and puzzly based. Like you don't move around. Your character kind of uses clairvoyance to kind of bounce to people's positions. So that's how you see the world basically, instead of like moving around in full 3D space.
Okay.
So you kind of just bounce around. You solve these puzzles, and it's got the same Psychonauts charm that Double Fine has done for decades. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to snippet that from the video. I don't know. That was something else.
Bounce.
Um, and then I moved into Psychonauts 2. So Psychonauts 2 is available through Xbox Game Pass. I believe there is physical versions coming out for PS4 and Xbox One, because like they did like Double Fine prior to Xbox buying them out, did a crowdfunding thing. So right now that's the only way to get that game physical is through the crowdfunding. But Psychonauts 2 is a lot of fun. Game Pass is still crazy. Like I'm playing a brand new fucking game that came out this month on Game Pass. I was gonna say for free. I mean, it's not. It's a subscription, but you know, it's practically for free.
Wow.
But yeah, Game Pass is a lot of fun. Psychonauts 2 is a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Definitely, probably my favorite game of the year. Which I mean, I haven't really played a whole lot of games this year that came out this year, but it's definitely it's up there, man. One of my favorite games of the year. It's still fresh in people's minds. So I don't really want to spoil anything or talk too much about it. But, you know, and I think the overall plot is better in this game. The level design, the kind of like the quirky shit of like, oh, you're going in someone's mind. So like shit might get weird. That's a lot better. Platforming is a lot better. Yeah, it's a great game. Anybody who's got the Game Pass, check that shit out. Or just buy it straight up, man. Do it. Do it. Do it. That's pretty much all I've been playing, Tommy. What about you? What you been up to?
I decided, I mean, because again, H2MX had all three of the original Jurassic Park movies.
Okay. Nice.
I haven't seen the first two since I since I was in a wee lad.
Okay.
The first one is fantastic, still holds up.
Absolutely.
The second one, now I listen to both these audiobooks. So the second one was cool, but it got a little weird when, like, you know, they went to the city.
Yeah, I agree.
The fucking funny ass thing though, like I never noticed it as a kid, and as a adult man, I noticed it now, is when the T-Rex was chasing people, they turn, like, there's this one scene where there's like a bunch of Japanese businessmen running from the T-Rex.
Oh Jesus.
And I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Little on the nose there. Was the second one Spielberg? Probably not, right?
He might have produced.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But
right.
like, you know, and then you had the people who were upset because the T-Rex ate their dog.
I remember that. Yeah.
Shits though. Who the fuck leaves their goddamn dog outside in a doghouse over fucking night? You know what? Fuck you. You didn't deserve your dog.
Maybe they were trying to get their fucking groove on, bro.
Then also lock the kid outside too.
Maybe they were trying to get their groove on, bro. No distractions.
Fuck that. You didn't deserve that dog. Fuck you.
Fair.
The third one, man, I was praying for William H. Macy Téa Leoni to get fucking eaten. And
yeah, they're not really that liked in that movie, from what I remember.
I wanted them to get fucking eaten so bad. But pretty much what the Jurassic Park movies have taught me was, is our saying here at RudeBoyz Corporation. Eat the rich, man, because those dinosaurs had the right idea. Eat stupid, rich, fucking people who think just because they have money they could play fucking God.
Right.
You know what?
Not very true.
You don't get to play God because you got fucking money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, famously, the lawyer got eaten in the first one. So
yeah. And yeah, it is very funny after listening to the books, seeing John Hammond as this sweet old man, and in the books he is not like that. He's a piece of shit.
This always comes up, yeah. Like they make him really Santa Claus style or something like that. Even though, hey, guess what? He's playing God. So first off, he ain't a good person. So might as well just lean right into it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Just because you could do something doesn't mean you should do something, Yeah,
like Dr. Malcolm said.
There it is. Okay. Life finds a way, that's also what he said.
Yeah, I saw this funny ass video where it was just Jurassic Park in the different periods of time, and it was just them running from amoebas and shit.
Oh boy. Yeah, right. There you go.
Fucking funny as all hell. Started playing some games that I just got on the Switch. Child of Light.
Right.
RPG-ish side scroller. And R-Type. The R-Type 1 and 2 collection.
Yeah, R-Type's a little more my style.
Honestly, man, I would spend the $5 for Child of Light.
I don't do that.
You might surprise yourself. You might like it. You might. Okay. I'm just saying.
The odds are that I won't surprise myself is more high than me.
Don't miss out on something because of your prejudice.
Interesting. You would say something like that coming from this guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
What else have you been up to?
I have been up to, Tommy, based on your recommendation, and it was something that I was curious into getting into prior to that, but you definitely kind of put the cash seal of approval on it. Marvel 1602.
Yes.
Picked up Marvel 1602, Midtown Comics last month or something like that, and I finally delved into it. Written by Neil Gaiman. I think drawn by it's Andy Kubert.
It's either Andy or Ad. It's a Kubert.
Written by Neil Gaiman and drawn by A. Kubert.
There you go.
And it is just colonial superhero stuff, Marvel superhero stuff. You read it, Tommy. We're gonna get into spoilers. The book came out gotta be 20 years ago almost. Yeah. Around another anniversary that's happening right now as per recording. So you're getting into this book and you think that it's just like a fun Victorian, Old English, colonial take on the Marvel superheroes.
No.
That's what you think, because you're introduced to a Sir Nicholas Fury, Dr. Stephen Strange, who is the Queen's physician / magician. You're introduced to Matthew Murdoch, the blind singing bard. Peter Parkour, or whatever you want to pronounce it, who's like Nick Fury's aide. You're introduced to all these characters and all these analogies. I don't know how you want to say mirror images of the Marvel universe that we're more familiar with. It turns out, though, that the overall plot is that the reason that these characters exist in this time period is because there was some time travel shenanigans that caused the heroes to show up in a previous time period. And this happens like right, like I think it's like 8 issues, so it might be like issue 5 or something. They really pull this trigger.
Right.
So now they have to deal with possibly the end of the world, end of the universes, because like, oh, these heroes shouldn't have been here now. So fuck, rip it up. It's gone. Goodbye. So they have to figure that shit out too. And so that's pretty cool. But like I said, I think the biggest draw is that you see all these heroes or all these characters, these Marvel characters, in a different state, a colonial state, almost like how the noir universe was like steampunk and 1920s prohibition era stuff. This is like colonial old English, like I said earlier. So you get like Carlos Javier's home for it's the X-Men.
Yeah,
it's the X-Men. You get your original 5 X-Men plus Professor X, J, however you want to put it. You get your Fantastic Four, who are all sailors from a ship called the Fantastic. And they all gain elemental powers, but it's the usual, rock, fire. I guess water is Mr. Fantastic, Reed, and then air is Susan. But they all do that. And I like how those guys are portrayed, because like every time Hubert draws Reed Richards, Richard Reed, whatever they call, whatever his name is, that guy, he's always stretching, like he's always just like, like unnecessarily too. Like his fingers are just long, or maybe his neck is over here. Like it's just like, it's pretty funny like that. Sue is always drawn invisible, because like, it's not like, as fun as it was in the 60s and 70s and 80s, where it's just like, I have full power, I have full control over my powers. Like, nope, like you're like this, you're done.
Yeah.
I think, and Tom, I told you about this. There's this one issue in particular. So the plot is, and this is again spoiler alert, everybody should read it. It's quick, read it. That's your last.
It is a bit wordy, I will say.
It's wordy, but it goes, man. It's a good story, and it's a lot of intrigue and stuff. It's not like, let's go fight the enemy. I mean, this issue I'm going to talk about is them fighting the enemy, but like, it's not like that. Like, there's a lot of, political, almost like, I wouldn't say like too Game of Thrones ish, but like what people like about that political intrigue shit is in this. Because, so I'll set it up. The queen is dead. Who killed the queen? It was Dr. Doom, or Baron Otto von Doom, or something like that. Like he's Doom. Doom killed the queen.
Oh, Doom.
Yeah. So we got to go fight Doom now. So Nick Fury and the X-Men team up to go fight Doom. There's a reveal with Thor. Oh man, it's really good. And like, that's when the pace really started to quicken. And I like that.
I really dug the whole like with the X-Men, the like the witch trials.
Yes.
And like Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver were like the Inquisition.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wait, but you're witches as well.
Right. But I mean, it was Magneto's way of kind of like getting I guess surviving.
Yeah.
It's like no one suspects the Spanish Inquisition, It's like, it's that shit,
I really dug that whole thing.
That was a very cool book.
Yeah.
I read. Yeah, very cool. Dug it.
Yeah. I'm glad one of my recommendations has gone over.
Yeah. I think what did it also was we were talking about it for the second to last RudeBoyz top 10 when we were talking about alternate Marvel universes.
Yeah.
And you were very mum on it. And I didn't know it tied that deeply to the 616, or it is the 616, but just 400 years prior to that moment.
I would love to get you to read more Neil Gaiman. He's so damn good.
Take it easy. Unless it deals with Spider-Man and shit, I don't want to read it.
I don't know, man. Sandman's really cool. You see a lot of DC shit, which is pretty neat.
Tom, did you read any of the other 1602 shit? Like, because apparently there was like a pseudo sequel, and I mean that universe still kicks around. Actually, I think Peter Parker's character was the first one murked by Morlun in Spider-Verse.
Yes, I believe you're
Yeah.
correct.
But did you read any of it? I know there's like they do like it's like a 1602 New World thing or no? Okay, this was it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is the only one because I don't think Neil Gaiman had anything to do with the others.
No, he did not.
So it was just like if he wasn't having anything to do with it, I wasn't gonna read it because it was just like as much as I love Marvel, just squeezing that cheese out of the tube.
Right. Well, you made me read Kingdom Come, so I think that's probably or the Kingdom. I'm sorry, the Kingdom. Yeah. Again, you would think that the Kingdom and then the Kingdom Come sounds like a good sequel name to the Kingdom, not the other way around. But what are you gonna do?
Not all my recommendations can be zingers. What
Fair.
else are you doing too?
Keeping with the Marvel shit, man. So this is nation. I have to say this. The Rude Boy streak has ended due to the outside influences of the world. Tommy and I were not able to see Shang-Chi together. Tom is actually yet to see it. So I don't want to, I'm not going to talk too much about it per se, but it is really good. It does fall into some of the traps with like Marvel movies where like some of the stuff is like maybe a little forced. Like if it was just a movie that stood on its own, like was kung fu and superhero and this and that, I think it would be phenomenal. I haven't seen a lot of kung fu movies, and I know right now I'm eating basically like spam, and I'm like, ooh, spam's delicious. I love ham. I don't know if I do, but like you know, but you know what I mean. It's like I'm eating dog food that Marvel gave to me, and I'm like, man, I love steak. And it's like, no, you don't have no idea if you like steak. You got to go eat steak to see if you love steak. And I need to go watch kung fu movies if I think I like kung fu movies.
But you're saying we're gonna start watching some kung fu movies.
I would like to watch kung fu movies. I haven't like you know, Crouching Tiger. I've never seen like you know like shit like that. Like I would dig that because like when I saw Shang-Chi, I was kind of blown away. I was also pretty high, but I was also like I was also I know. Sorry. Hang on a second. There you go. I was just like blown away by like the magical. I was so we were watching it I watched it with a buddy of ours, and I'm like, dude, that was the most beautiful movie I've ever seen in my life. So like, there's some angles, dude. Like they do a good job. They did a good job.
I'm a little disappointed in you on two things.
That well.
One, you did that. Two, you did it without me.
Oh yeah.
Three, I thought we
two things. Three,
exactly. I thought we had a united front about going to the movies.
No, not at all. I knew your thoughts. And
I don't know. No.
I guess you clearly didn't know my thoughts.
It seems like we had a united front about going to the movies in this time.
Well, listen, I felt more comfortable than you, and that's completely fine. So, right.
Okay.
Tom, we can get rip roaring high when Shang-Chi hits Disney Plus on what is it, December 18th? Oh, October 18th. October 18th.
Yeah. It's something like that because it's like 45 days after.
Right. After the premiere. Sure. Yeah.
All right. So now the question is, Eternals. What do we want?
I don't know. We'll see when it happens. What was that?
We'll see what reviews say.
Yeah, I'm sure the reviews are going to be fine. Like, I mean, that director's an Academy Award winning director now. The ensemble cast seems like it'll be dynamite. Don't get me wrong. Like, there were parts like so Shang-Chi made a ton of money, got great reviews, and there were parts of it that I just did not like. And I'll be honest, and I don't want to dive right into it. Those parts were all like the Marvel, like, get it? You know what I mean? It's the jokey stuff. It's like that. It's like you don't really need that. Don't get me wrong. I think the acting credits, everybody I'm forgetting the dude's name. I think Simu Liu or something like that. The dude who's acting, who portrayed Shang-Chi was great. I don't think he's got great comedic timing, so there was no reason to put him in comedic scenes. I think though that shit fell flat. Unless Aquafina's whole claim to fame is that she's awkward as hell, then guess what? That worked out very well because that shit was awkward, and I did not like that.
I forgot she would. Yeah. I don't like her.
Like it was honestly, to me, it felt like if you threw Kevin Hart opposite Chadwick in Black Panther, like it was like we gotta shoehorn some jokes and shit in,
Yeah.
But like Chadwick had, a little more diverse acting talent where he could kind of like, cut a joke here and there, and be a little more loose and relatable. What's the guy's name? You looking it up, Tommy? I see you.
Yeah, I probably really shouldn't have done that because something just got ruined.
Oh boy. Oh no. Shut it down, Tommy. I got it. I got you.
No, it's already done. It's already done.
Yeah, Simu Lewis. Simu Lewis is his name. Don't get me wrong, great, like a straight man actor, like just like great presence. Like this guy could kick an ass. He could probably kick two asses if he wanted to. But like, I don't know. I wasn't buying the whole, jokey stuff. Again, I could have been high. It could have been because I was high. I was very hyper aware of all this shit. I have this thing when I watch shit while high is my brain deconstructs what I watch. And I don't watch a movie or I don't watch a TV show. I'm watching actors act in front of a camera on a set. So, and I can't shut that off. Like, and there was one point in
strings and everything.
There was one point in particular, Tommy, and I'll point it out to you when we do end up watching it, where like, a car pulls up and in my mind it's like, oh, this is the next scene. I got it. And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, shut up, stop. like the director hit action and then the car pulls up, like I'm just, it was bad. It was a lot of fun. It was a good movie. I had an enjoyable time. And that's all I've been up to.
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
In the words of the immortal legend Mick Foley, WWE, we have a problem.
Yes. So this is actually convenient time we're talking about this with this topic, because AEW had a killer pay-per-view showing with All Out. Mick Foley, as Tom alluded to, just did a Facebook video or something talking about the problems of the WWE. So clearly the nation is ready to talk about it, and don't worry, nation, we're here to talk about it. We want to talk about the state of the WWE, and I'm gonna basically echo the disclaimer we gave earlier in the episode. We are not the most hardcore WWE fans. We like professional wrestling. We both grew up on professional wrestling, and we want to see it succeed, and we see it being successful elsewhere than the nation's, not the Rude Nation, the leader in sports entertainment. It's not even called professional wrestling. That's a dirty word there. The WWE. We see a lot of issues there, and I feel like we need to start talking about the issues of the WWE, and that's what this episode is going to do. We did an outline. I was bored on the train.
We're actually organized.
I know, yeah.
Ish.
Right. Much like the staff of the WWE should be organized. Actually, all professional wrestlers should be organized. Listen, they're athletes just as much as fucking MLB ball players. You know what I mean? Like, they need to be protected. Am I wrong? If anything, they put their body at more risk.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So the state of the WWE, we're gonna just take a step back. Like, how did we get to this point? All right. Let's talk about once the WWE bought their competition in WCW, they had nothing to keep them in check. In the late 90s, early 2000s, WWE went public. so they had shareholders now. It was pretty much like once they were able to push WCW down in the Attitude Era, they were able to kind of just become the leader again. And they weren't the leader. They were the leader because there was no competition. Like, we're history lesson, everybody. The rock and wrestling thing, what Vince McMahon will best be known for once he dies is bringing, if he dies, we'll put it that way, will be bringing the art of professional wrestling to a mainstream audience. A lot of people don't realize that, like, the little independent scenes that you all see right now on Twitter, on YouTube right now, picture that, but without any social media.
Right.
So, like, how are you going to find out what's going on in, I mean, shit, if Impact didn't have a TV deal, you wouldn't have any idea what's going on down there. You know what I mean? That's, I think, what makes such, like the next evolution is like the AEW's Forbidden Door. Like, it's kind of like the best of both worlds with that. We're going to talk about them a little later. But what Vince did was he brought wrestling to a mainstream, to a global, to a national and then global audience, with WrestleMania, with the rock and wrestling era, with pay-per-views, with stuff like that. And the NWA with its little territories weren't able to compete. So Ted Turner, big old Southern boy, bought the rights to Jim Crockett Promotions, turned it into WCW, put it on TBS, ended up putting it on TNT, went head to head with Raw, and now Raw and the WWF finally has some sort of competition that can go up against it because it's the money to push that promotion to do it, right, Tom?
Correct. Yeah.
And they were neck and neck for a good part of the 90s, with some wins, some losses, whatever. But once WWF was able to kind of push them down, that's when they wanted to kind of, I guess, go legit, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like, they went public. They got more marketing deals through like Mattel or Jack Pacific and then Mattel, and you know what I mean? So then once they lost the competition, and I know a lot of wrestlers in that era saw that also as kind of the turning point, there was no reason for WWF/E to really do anything. They owned their competition. They were a monopoly in the national wrestling market. Right? I mean, you remember this time, right, Tommy, when you were like, you saw the, once WCW was bought out, it's like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah. I mean, they could have done something fantastic with the whole invasion angle.
Very true. Yep.
I mean, to this day, that is still one of my favorite. I love invasion shit. I really do. It was completely mishandled. They tried to do too much in too little. Too little.
But also, they didn't do not enough. And don't get me wrong. Like, that invasion pay-per-view, I think, is still one of the highest bought pay-per-views. But like, imagine how much it would have bought if WWE, again, because like the mishandling of WCW, like a lot of those contracts were through AOL Time Warner and not through World Championship Wrestling. So when WWE bought World Championship Wrestling, they got those contracts. So like Goldberg, Hogan, Nash, Hall, Steiner, they all were tied up in their own contracts. And they were like, oh, I could either go wrestle for money or I could go sit on my ass for money. I think I'm just going to do the latter. And that's what they did. And Vince gave no incentive to be like, no, come on, like, do dream matches, bro. Sting, Taker, Hogan, Rock, like a year prior to it happening, like it could have been fucking, it could have been the tits, but
you could have had AJ in there as one of your biggest stars so much earlier.
I don't know about that. I think the AJ's trajectory was once in a lifetime. Like, he needed to go elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Like, he was one of those guys that they could have picked up that contract, like his contract.
Yeah, I mean, he was. AJ is an anomaly. AJ needed his path to. He's phenomenal. He needed his path to make him the guy he was. That's. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Like, I mean, you had the keys to all the kingdoms and you could have done something else. But what you did was you just kind of squashed it. And what you did was you created the brand split. You tried to create your own competition, which in retrospect might have worked. Because again, you got stuff like, the SmackDown 6, like we talked about, I think on a Wrestle Special, where like SmackDown was doing its own thing. Raw was basically just fucking Triple H's reign of terror with the Evolution and his world championship. Like it was that shit. So, but like you were trying to simulate like, ooh, what show is better? But like it's all going to the same, it's feeding the same mouth. Both hands feed the same mouth. That's a fucking proverb, right?
Yeah.
No.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Gotcha. So, but in this reality now that they're facing themselves into, they needed to create new stars, and they couldn't pull from WCW anymore because guess what? They had all those contracts. So, like your Sean O'Hare's, your Chris Palumbo's, or Chuck Palumbo's, I'm sorry, your Rey Mysterio's, like for better or worse, or however they ended up in the scope of things, we're all part of the same umbrella. So now you needed to make new stars. So what do? Their developmental territory kind of kicks back in with OVW and FCW, and you get guys who stick. You get guys like a bodybuilder turned professional wrestler turned sports entertainer in John Cena. You get your third generation star in Randy Orton. You get your NCAA fucking beast Brock Lesnar. You get your 40-year-old with a fucking killer physique who wants to wrestle in Dave Batista. You get those 4 guys who are still pretty much synonymous with professional wrestling, or WWE really.
Yeah.
And are legends in their own time. So WWE needed to make their own stars, and that's going to echo now, because the way that NXT was and then turned into and is now becoming is almost like cyclical of what's happening.
Yeah.
Like WWE needs to create their own stars. They can't just get somebody and put a little WWE bow on them and push them out there.
Right.
Because that doesn't necessarily work.
Karrion Kross.
Cross. I mean, it's.
I mean, let's face facts. It's the real
Adam
reason.
Cole, Keith Lee. If we want to talk about real current situations of being like guys that should have been that are megastars in the indies. Again, I'm not trying to make that term derogatory, but it is. It's not how Vince sees it,
Yeah.
But yeah, Karrion Kross is a great example of them trying to put a WWE hat on it. And fans, what's funny is that fans of Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, are like, what the fuck are they doing? And I can't imagine how people who have never seen this guy wrestle are like, what am I looking at? Like it's hard for me to decipher what's good out of this. That could just be me,
Yeah, I mean, proof in point was I saw something where it was just like this past Monday, John Morrison versus Karrion Kross happened,
right?
And someone put like the picture of them facing off an Impact,
Uh-huh.
and then John Morrison in the bottom picture from this past Monday shooting him with a super soaker.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when Impact had better matches than what than what the Machine has, there's a problem there.
Very, very true. And I think what's helped Impact out the most is that in this timeline of WWE not having competition,
right,
is that the wrestling fans wanted competition. So I think when TNA saw that, they saw that, they tried to manufacture that. They tried to get their Hulk Hogan's, their Vince Russo's, their Jim Cornette's, their Billy Corgan's to try to give them a little bit of rub and be like, no, we're competition. And it never worked. And I think the niche that Impact has kind of fallen into has been very successful for them. They were, I think, once everything is all said and done, I think they have been the most consistent promotion within this whole weird COVID era. Because like a lot of people had no idea. And listen, I don't want to make a joke and be like, well, they had practice of working without a crowd, but like, you know, they were able to just be like, you know what, fuck, we don't need they would love the audience, but they need to produce matches.
Right.
Exactly. They can't just be like, oh, whatever the crowd wants or whatever Vince wants or whatever the higher powers want. Like they need to produce a product. And they produced a product. And I mean, you know, it is what it is with them. So, but I think that's kind of where it is. And that's the problem that the WWE has had is that, like I said, once they went public, then once they started getting a lot more, I have this later down in the notes, but they have too many masters. Like right now, NXT and Raw are on USA. SmackDown is on Fox. You have advertisers for both specific television companies. You have your own advertisers, like your toy companies, this and that. Like you have too many masters to please. And that's a problem because like they can't give to the fans. They need to give to their bottom line.
Yeah. The best thing one of the best things they could do TV wise is get all three shows under one network.
Right. Which is what they had. They had that for a while, but then money was coming, and then that's really what it comes down to. And don't get me wrong, WWE has had the most profitable year in years. And a lot of that does have to do with, yes, cutting talent and making money moves like this. And yes, that delicious Saudi blood money. But you know what? It's like, and then, yeah, there's that whole thing. Yeah, I didn't put that on the list. That just came to me. But like they have all these things where it's like, yeah, they're making money, but they're not producing a good product.
Right.
But I mean, we just talked about NXT. NXT was the attempt of NXT, the genesis of NXT was that they wanted to basically manufacture new stars. So they made the Performance Center. They made a microcosm of what the WWE production system is.
Yeah.
And they put people through that and with varying results with like, you know, like Tyler Breeze was in developmental hell for years before he became Tyler Breeze. And even then he wasn't able to scratch the surface of what he probably could have done. But he was able to help that. I mean, you have like the minds of down there, like Dusty Rhodes was down there. William Regal is down there. You know, Shawn Michaels is down there. You have the wrestling minds to create new generations of stars, like new and next and future generations of stars.
Right.
But they just don't do that. And it's because of the form factor, cookie cutter sports entertainment that the WWE puts out. And I mean, again, like you have those anomalies like your Seth Rollins, formerly known Tyler Black, who went through the developmental and was able to still now main event. You know, your Bryan Danielsons went through the FCW thing and became Daniel Bryan and then, you know, peaked. And we'll talk about his mishandling of that stuff. CM Punk went through OVW and got where he got despite a lot of management.
Yeah.
Out of those three names, I think Rollins was the only one that kind of went with the tide, and was able to succeed. And was that because he was just a yes man and just like, whatever you say, Vince, I got you, or whatever you say, Hunter, I got you? It's possible. Don't get me wrong. So
whatever whatever you say, Uncle Bruce. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's another major issue. Bruce Pritchard, he's gonna be him and Vince are gonna kill.
Yes,
NXT.
Because
because it's not. Yes, it's Vince's creation because he backs it with his money.
Absolutely,
but they're not the ones who made it what it is.
Right.
So they're gonna see it as like, oh well, this has to be completely changed. We're gonna get rid of all these like high flyers that people enjoy now.
Yeah, I agree.
let's face it, humans have a very short attention span.
Yeah.
And having two big behemoths like, guys who have like the body of like Lesnar and Lashley, nobody has the mentality for that kind of slow match.
Except for Vince, Bruce, John Laurinaitis, Kevin Dunn. It's those guys. Like they,
the audience doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, they might, but it needs to be delivered in a way that like you're like, oh, I'm excited for this. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, this is good. Like it's like almost like those, like those old school Royal Rumble standoffs where it's like you see two guys that they've never touched before, but they're like, like parallels to each other. It's why I like the brand split early on was because you kept guys on one show, you kept guys on another show. So during like an invasion angle or a Survivor Series, when you saw like a Kurt Angle go nose to nose with Triple H, you're like, ooh, okay, this is good because like we got a taste of this years ago, but now it's like, these are the fucking heads of I don't want to say the table because that's a new thing, the heads of their respective shows.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's they don't know how to build story anymore.
Absolutely not. And again, it's like you said, it's like the short attention span.
Yeah, I mean, for fuck's sakes, they recycled a story where Miz turned on Morrison.
Yep. And not only that, but like the current state of the WWE also deals with a lot of it's a lot of rematches, And again, because we're talking about having too many masters to please, but really the head of that is Vince. So it's almost like he okays one script, let's say. And this is all like, every dirt sheet wrestling website is showing this stuff, is talking about the stuff where Vince will 6 hours before showtime, he'll rip the script up. So then what do the writers have to do is just be like, fuck, well, that worked last week, so let's just do it and tweak it. And it's like, no, that doesn't, that's one of two, that's two things. That's lazy.
Yeah.
And that also devalues a lot of the roster. I think what AEW does is they have a tremendous amount of talent. And I think the bubble is definitely going to burst sooner than later. Once because AEW is still within its third year. Once it hits 5 years, you're going to start seeing an exodus releases. You're going to start seeing it because they have a lot of talent. But right now they're handling their talent in a way that I don't want to even factions is too strong of a word. Like you see people hanging out and teaming up, oh, we're good guys, we're both quirky or whatever, we hang out together, like Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy, perfect example.
Or what happened on Rampage currently was Brian Pillman Jr. was getting beaten down and Moxley came out.
Right, yeah, like both Cincinnati boys, yeah. You know what I mean? Like that makes sense. That's logical. And you can then potentially have fresh mashups because now maybe you want you can then start swapping shit around instead of being like, okay, now it's Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Okay, cool. Then it's Nikki Ash versus Charlotte Flair. Okay, now it's Nikki Ash versus Rhea Ripley. Okay, now it's Nikki Ash. It's the same.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Asuka being hurt is what is hurting the women's division right now.
There's a lot that's hurting the women's division.
Well, no,
that doesn't help.
Yeah, because even though she does have a pretty sick fucking sling.
Yeah.
Her sling, did you see it? It was the power glove.
Yeah. She's a big weeb. Which I don't think is derogatory towards a Japanese person, but I apologize. That just might be derogatory towards whiteys.
Wow.
Wow. But yeah, so I mean, we're jumping all over the place, but I think it really all comes down to how WWE is handling its product currently. Yeah. And we did touch upon that, wrestling fans are just hungry for something. I think when NXT was created and NXT hit the network, it was a gift and a curse. It was a gift because it now puts the pressure on the talent to deliver because now they have eyes on them. It's not just Vince or Dusty or Road Dogg or you know what I mean, or Hunter. It's everybody.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial for the company to do that because now you're creating stars the way you want to create them. However, the slippery slope is that now there's buzz. So when they see and hear a match with Sami Zayn and Cesaro, who have wrestled multiple times, hundreds of times on the indies, you start to get more eyes on this, and you get a match that is buzzworthy and also possibly not WWE manufactured because of the competitors. Both of them have a talent pool that is not unlike what the WWE is. They're both not bodybuilders. You know, one's a high flyer technical guy, one is a fucking Swiss cyborg. Like Cesaro is amazing, and Cesaro should definitely have gotten a way better card hand dealt to him than he has.
He should have had numerous world titles by now.
I agree. At least just 2. Give me 2. That's it.
And one of them be a long one.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I agree. But it's almost like it's almost because like Vince didn't create it. He doesn't like it. Which also
you hit the nail on the head.
Which also makes the whole AJ thing just so much like bizarre, is because it's like man, he's really fucking good. So yeah, give it to him. And he had a long, lengthy title reign. You know what I mean? Like,
look at Owens as well. Vince didn't create him.
Yeah.
So he's just like,
yeah.
I can't wait for him to fucking get out of there and show up.
January might be it, you know?
Well, did you see
that's the thing.
Did you see what he did on Twitter and he deleted it?
Yep. It's the coordinates for Mount Rushmore, which I guess was a PWG faction between him. Yeah, exactly. So cool.
There's something with Adam Cole that I would like to see happen, but I'll wait either when we're done recording or if we talk about AEW.
Okay. But like, so with NXT trying to get like a buzz, they did the signing of the top indie stars. And Tom, do you remember this article way back when? This was right after Owens got signed. It was a sit down interview with Owens, Sami Zayn, Hideo Itami, aka Kenta, Neville, aka currently known as Pac, and Finn.
And who?
Finn.
Yeah. Okay.
And like they were going to be the future of NXT.
Yeah.
You know? And for better or worse, like they all had their moments. I mean, Hideo got hurt, whatever. Shit happens. It ain't ballet, kid. So he never really got a real chance to shine. All of those other guys were NXT champs for various amounts of time. 2 of those guys were only able to touch World Championship gold in WWE. But you know, it's just like you have the talent, but like just because like you came from a bingo hall, nah, you'll never fly, kid, you know? But like even though they are compelling performers, they can connect with the crowd, which really is should be it, you know, like that should succeed. It's like what Punk said in his AEW debut was that at this point in his timeline, he exited professional wrestling. Sometime later, he returned to professional wrestling.
Right.
And that kind of shows you what the WWE machine is all about. And that to a performer, it's what Mick Foley said in his video. Like, as a performer, is WWE really where you want to be? Like, yeah, you might have grown up on that product, but like, is that as an artist, is that where you want to be? And I mean, he's got a damn good point. And for someone of his status, who is probably getting blacklisted, not even as we speak, already as we spoke,
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's
I want this stuff down off
Yeah.
that. I mean, let's see if he's taken off the alumni page.
Oh my God, he might be. All his fucking Legends shit. Well, I can see like a Legends contract. Who knows? Like that's a completely different thing. But all right. So we're moving on. So WWE, without any sort of competition, like I feel like their competition with Impact, they squashed real fast, and that had to do a lot with they weren't really firing on all cylinders. And WWE just like basically just grabbed talent from them, or like, oh, it's the first Impact on Monday nights. Granted, that wasn't a great Impact, but it's like, okay, let's have Bret Hart return and hug Shawn Michaels. Like, as a wrestling fan, that's what I want to talk about. As a wrestling fan, that's what you want to say.
Right.
What I wanted to say was that we've said this off air, like what the WWE has to offer, and it isn't much, but it's important. They know how to package a match. They know how their production, I think, is the best in the business.
Right.
Like they know how to put together a promo that you'll be like, holy shit, I really care about this match that I had no idea about.
Right.
And they
I was gonna care about.
Yeah. And they have the history. They have the welcome to WrestleMania, Austin 316, like their whole like then now forever shit before every episode is true. They have the nostalgia. They have the whole like, oh man, I used to love this. And then what happened? It's true. But WWE started getting stagnant. A lot of their exciting things were mishandled again because it wasn't a Vince McMahon creation. The Summer of Punk, perfect example. We talked about this when we did our retro rewatch of Money in the Bank. Like botched. Punk should have been gone for months. He should have showed up here and there and everywhere with the WWE title. That would have gotten such incredible buzz. You would want to turn into Raw and be like, oh, is he going to show up? Turns out he shows up a week later, but you know what I mean? That should have been good. The Yes Movement.
They just don't know how to handle shit.
Exactly.
The promos.
Exactly. The Yes Movement. The Yes Movement shouldn't have happened, but like it did and it needed to. The whole 18 seconds of WrestleMania, like Daniel Bryan's first WrestleMania match as a world champion, was just to make Sheamus look strong.
Right.
Like complete backfire because then the Yes Movement happened. And then like, with Punk exiting, like they needed somebody to kind of like intercept this heat and turn it into something positive. And to be fair, like a couple episodes ago when Raw returned to Chicago after Punk got fired, there was this whole like, oh, we're going to occupy Raw. And to WWE's credit, they could have just had Stephanie McMahon out there for 45 minutes and berate the crowd. And they probably would have. And there was probably a script that existed for that. But what they did was they put out Daniel Bryan, someone that the crowd could definitely get behind and definitely, like I said, intercept that energy and turn it into something for him. So therefore, Vince was like, it was a pretty good idea I had, right? Like, motherfucker, Vince, I guess. You son of a bitch.
You carny motherfucker.
Exactly, yeah. And again, like, and like fucking Daniel Bryan's first, again, his whole rise, like, like WrestleMania 30, great moment. We all forget about the fact that Daniel Bryan won the championship at the SummerSlam and got cashed in on, and then beat Randy Orton, but there was a ref bump, so that didn't happen. And then had to fight Bray Wyatt in a go nowhere feud. Like we kind of forget that.
Honestly, that feud, I enjoyed that feud.
So did I. But he was like, "Yo, that guy was just your world champ a month ago,
right?
And now what is he doing? It was a good feud, but like it was like, what the fuck is he doing? So like they almost had to repackage what we wanted. Vince did, like Vince had to be like, oh, you like this thing? Here you go.
Yeah.
I gave this to you. Like, no, you didn't, but thanks. And he gave it to me at WrestleMania 30. So, okay, fine, you get it. And then his first feud was with Kane, and then he got hurt. So it's a fucking the tragedy. Let me tell you the tragedy of Darth, Bryan, the Wise. The Shield. The Shield was such an exciting faction.
Yes.
And it was bolstered by two indie stars, indie darlings, and
a homegrown
Samoan, family man from a second generation at least. And who was the one that had to be made look strong? Roman.
The one who has ties to The Rock.
Exactly. The one who has ties to the history of WWE. Just because he was in the family. You know what? Fuck you, Seth. Fuck you, Moxley, Dean, whatever you want to say. And again, but like that was such an exciting group. That was such an exciting feud when they all broke up. And that's one of your favorite pay-per-views, Tom, the Money in the Bank, when they all won the title. Like,
they all won the title, but it was also exciting when they would come down and serve justice.
Exactly. Yes.
Like I feel like that didn't go on long enough.
Correct.
I feel like we never got a real proper feud between them and the Wyatt family.
No. Definitely. You got a great match out of them, but yeah, that was pretty much it. I think the writing won. Everyone
wanted that.
Yeah, everyone wanted that, but I think the writing was on the wall. They wanted to break the Shield up. So it's like, listen, we got to get this in. And they did. Yeah. And they made the most of it.
Yep.
But again, like, what was the end game? Roman is now your Universal Champion. Seth is feuding with Edge for now. We'll see what happens. But like, he's where he is. Dean is off doing John Moxley stuff. He's the artist, and he is performing his art to something he feels a little more receptive to.
Yeah.
To echo something real quick, CM Punk a while ago when he was in WWE tweeted that this poop ain't fun anymore. And then he retweeted that, or quote retweeted that recently, where he said, this shit is fun again.
Right.
Like, is that's what AEW and the culture that it's bringing is doing for its performers. It's exciting to them. It's not like a WCW money grab where they're just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna just get paid and that's it. Like, no, they're getting paid to perform in front of a crowd that loves to watch them. And I'm not trying to diminish any of those fans who like WWE. If you like what you watch, that's great. However, there are issues and there are alternatives that you might not notice because, again, the monopolistic outlook of the WWE doesn't provide for you.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to NXT. So we know NXT I loved, but I haven't watched it.
Right.
It's just not. I mean, having Swerve as champion is awesome. I agree. He's awesome. But once Vince and Bruce Pritchard finally come in, they're gonna
ruin. Absolutely.
They're gonna ruin it. They're gonna break up that group like they did. Oh my God! See, I can't even read
Hurt Business.
Hurt Business. They're gonna destroy that.
It's so weird to me. I think, and I saw something online where it was just like, I think Vince is all about heat. He's all about like, it's one person against the odds. And that's why like your good guys never really hang out together, but your bad guys have no problem teaming up. And that's what AEW doesn't do. Like they will be like, oh, you guys are faces. Like, don't you hate that you should morally be opposed to another good guy getting hurt. So go out there. You know what I mean? Like they did that during at the end of All Out when Christian Cage was getting beat down, like the Jurassic Express ran out, even though it's like, really, the Jurassic Express?
I'm actually loving the Kazarian thing. Like the elite hunter.
Yeah.
Like, loving that. Him coming out, messing with the elite. Honestly, I'm probably one of the few. I'm probably in the minority. I'm over the elite. I was over the elite.
Oh yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
As soon as I saw that, like, Omega and the Bucks had their own little group within the Bullet Club, I was like, ugh. And then I saw Adam Cole hooking up with them. I was like, guy, come on, you're so much better than that.
Right, but
what I would love to see is that Adam Cole's playing them. He's playing Elite, and then all of a sudden he brings in Mike Bennett and Matt Taven and Maria, and the Kingdom is now in AEW.
That could be pretty cool.
I would, and
I think that would be probably possible.
Oh, it's totally possible.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know Matt Taven's contract deal with Ring of Honor.
Right.
I don't know if it's still with them.
Right.
But I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Well, shit, who the hell knows? We could see Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole just completely join up with Kazarian.
It's true. But Tommy, you're touching on a subject where I think the competition was able to get a lot of buzz because, again, like we're talking about, like, wrestling fans, they just want the best for wrestling. I don't think wrestling fans ever go away. They just want to see something that engages them. Right. And over in New Japan, when the Bullet Club was formed, that was exciting because people are like, ooh, this is like a rough shot group, NWO kind of in New Japan with a bunch of like a bunch of killers, at the time. You got like the Carl Anderson, Prince Devitt, Doc Gallows, and then those groups just started growing and growing to a jokeable amount, but that was exciting.
Like NWO did.
Exactly.
And that was, they all came together because the whole original thing was like they were feeling that like they were like kind of like the lone gaijins.
Yeah, exactly.
In New Japan, and they weren't getting their fair shakes.
Exactly.
So they were like,
it was exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna go out. We're gonna do our thing.
Right.
I mean, the original two were Devitt and Carl Anderson.
Yes.
And then Gallows came, I think.
Yeah, I think Gallows was tagging with Anderson.
Probably after his Impact run with Aces and Eights happened.
Right. True. But I mean, if there was no Bullet Club, like, I don't even know where there would be. I don't want to be like, oh man, that Bullet Club was really the leader of it. But like something like that, something had to give where it needed to be exciting, and the wrestling fans just needed excitement.
Right. And
that was exciting to them.
And now we're starting to get members of Bullet Club showing up in Impact.
Right. Yeah. Because again, so that talks about like what we were talking about before, like the competition recognizes itself. Like you have Kenny Omega wrestling in AAA against Andrade with Ric Flair as his manager, which you might probably see at some point in AEW. But you've also got who's that sling blade guy? What's his name? Who's like Jay White, who I think is like right now the leader of Bullet Club. He's like dabbling in Impact.
I don't know who. I think the Tongas might be the leaders because I feel like they might have kicked him out.
There was a Bullet Club got a little convoluted, especially when the Elite started going against like the OGs or whatever like that.
Exactly.
But the Elite spun out into All Elite Wrestling with Omega, the Bucks, and Cody. But like you see a lot of that diversity going, and it harkens back to the territory days where like kind of things were like a little bit Wild Westy, but everyone's smart about it. Like it's a new generation. It saw how the machine churned out professional wrestling into sports entertainment, and they're just like, nah, we can maybe take the best of both worlds. Like Kenny Omega, I'm personally not won over by, but I think he gets the best of both worlds. He knows how to perform in the ring, and he knows how to produce something grand that people are like, oh, get eyes on him, and then you're watching him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not just like, oh, yo, check out this Triple H entrance. Like, that's pretty cool, but don't watch the match because it's a fucking snooze fest. No disrespect to Triple H, your boy, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, also get well, Triple H. Get well. Huh? Also get well, Triple H.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I am seeing a long title reign for Omega with the AEW title
I believe it. Yeah.
until I got a feeling until Hangman comes
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Unless they throw it on, unless Punk works his way through the ranks, because right now he's going to be feuding with Team Taz, which is fucking random to me.
It definitely. It was just a weird, like, oh, Punk, we got, I don't know.
Or they
sure
could throw it on Daniel Bryan, or they can, they could throw it on Adam Cole. I am guaranteeing we're going to see the strap on Hangman Page.
Right.
Before
I agree.
the end of 2022.
I agree.
Not before the end of 2021. Before the end of 2022.
Give it like a calendar year.
It'd be so well deserved.
I agree.
He's one of the originals. And they even tried to bring him into the Elite as well.
Right. He was Bullet Club. But yeah, I think you're right. He was like hanging on to the Elite, like just like, all right, guys, let's go over here.
He decided to break away from them,
right?
Which is very cool, and him doing his own shit. So, I really think we're gonna end up seeing. I think we're gonna end up seeing Bray Wyatt showing up in All Elite,
right?
Especially with the state of the Dark Order right now,
right?
Like, Anna Jay and whatever her name is, Conti.
Hey, Conti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are gonna just get fed up and make a call and break and honestly, the Bray Wyatt that I would love to see is like that cult leader Bray Wyatt,
right?
Like wearing the Hawaiian shirt, the fedora.
Maybe something, probably you'll get like that persona, but I think Bray Wyatt is one of those performers just like a Kenny Omega, where like he can get eyes on him and then perform in the ring.
Yeah,
maybe not necessarily under the 5 moves of doom style of the WWE, but he can definitely go. But you will get something. It's almost like Malachi Black, like how he took what his character did in WWE NXT, canonized it, and now he is the same person but just evolved. You'll probably get like a harken back Bray Wyatt, but you're not going to get the same old thing, especially out of him. Like, don't get me wrong, they'll probably be just like, yo, Bray, or not Bray, what's his fucking name?
Rotundo, whatever.
Yeah, Wyndham. No, that's whatever.
No, I think Wyndham Rotundo.
Is he Wyndham? All right.
Or Papo.
Yo, buddy, get over here. Put this hat, put this Hawaiian shirt on. He's probably just gonna be like, no, like I want to do this. Yeah, and they give him a little creative control. Sure. It's like how Matt Hardy did the whole broken gimmick from Impact and he brought it everywhere, and then he did the Woken, which was similar, but did not do that great of a job. Even with the production the WWE has, like they could have fucking killed it. Whatever. Again, Vince is like, this isn't mine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's just face it. The competition is killing it right now.
The competition is killing it, and like it's not a matter of WWE sucking so bad. It's they're sucking, and AEW is doing a great job. Like they are rewarding wrestling fans for long-term storytelling. They're rewarding them with matches you want to see, and they're rewarding you with just a girth of talent that like it is something fresh.
Yeah.
And right now the state of W, they really need to kind of wake up, and with their too many, I think the writing is going to be on the wall soon, and because I think that their television partners are starting to get wise of like almost like, okay, well, CM Punk just did great numbers for AEW. Like, why didn't you offer money? Like, why didn't you do that?
But we got Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch.
and to be fair, those two talents, I think, one, not so much now, but Brock's whole deal, once he came back from UFC, I've always been a fan of, because it was something that, like, he said, "Fuck you, Vince."
Yeah.
And then you pay me, and now I'm going to throw your guys around. And yeah, don't get me wrong, that gets a little stagnant, but like, you don't see shit like that. Like, it disrupts. That's what I think NXT was so popular, was because it disrupted the WWE image. And I think that's why it also failed, was because it wasn't what Vinnie Mac wanted. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, he couldn't take Johnny Gargano. Vince, he could not take Johnny Gargano and make him a WrestleMania main eventer, even though Johnny Gargano could main event WrestleMania. You know what I mean? He couldn't do it. He'd fuck it up real bad.
Yeah.
Ciampa, he ain't gonna do that with Cross, 100%.
Nope.
But Keith Lee, Adam Cole definitely couldn't do anything with that. But whatever. That is where that lies. But I think the writing's going to be on the wall. Like, you know, they're seeing a lot of the talent leave and be nurtured elsewhere. And the fans see it too. Like right now, Dynamite kind of was eating up some of the demographic numbers that Raw just ate. And granted, they're not head to head on Monday or Wednesday nights, but like, their numbers are better on Wednesday than Raw's numbers are on Monday. Like, it's a matter of time before AEW isn't even going into competition. They're just pushing. They're just trying to succeed, I think. And
have you tuned into anything?
What was that?
Have you tuned into anything WWE wise?
I throw it on again because it's a product I'm familiar with. You know, like as far as a wrestling fan goes, like, I see the results. You know, I check it out. I follow shit on Twitter. If something was like, oh, you should check the shit out on YouTube, I'll check it out. But like, I don't. It's something I throw on. I don't watch it constantly.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But that's just me. And I think that's a lot like my co-host.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I don't even throw it on
anymore. Yeah, I mean, dude, SummerSlam was really just an excuse for everybody to get together and throw a product on that we're familiar with. You know, that we might see one or two cool things.
Yeah,
right.
And it was fun. It was
a fun time.
Exactly.
And again, a lot of it doesn't rely on, when we're talking about WWE, the state of the WWE, it doesn't have to do with talent. I think they still have a killer talent pool that they are just squandering.
It's them not knowing how to talent, because it does you know, like you said, there are too many masters to please.
Absolutely.
Vince is fully out of touch. He needs to step away.
I agree.
He, you know, him and his three cronies need to step the hell away.
Yep.
Honestly, you know, look what Triple H did for NXT after Dusty.
Made it exciting. I mean, it was always Triple H, but I think Dusty was like the guy there.
Right.
But you're right.
You know, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see tournaments on NXT anymore.
No, because of the you know, the ADD of Vince. You know, like, no, you gotta make it something new. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you can build,
come up with it.
That's also true too. Yeah.
Like we said, a lot of it is like, you know, Vince being out of touch.
Yep.
Too many masters
and not knowing how to use the talent to their extent, just using it to how Vince deems necessary.
Like, and that shows with these releases that happened in the past 2 years.
Right. Exactly. A lot of those could have been business related, just big contracts that they couldn't just do anymore, even though they're, again, the most profitable. But how do you get more profitable? Cut those contracts.
Right.
Don't pay the men during or women during a pandemic. Why would you do that?
Yep. But yet, you know, back in the 90s, you'll pay guys like Shawn Michaels to sit home.
Well, because you didn't want him to go to the competition at the time.
But you know what I mean, though. It's just kind of like...
No, it's hypocrisy. That's it.
Oh yeah.
And it's fucked up. And like we said, it's not the talent. Yeah. It's not the production. I don't think anybody who works there really says, oh, I want to do a bad job today.
Yeah.
I really want to give it 60% in the ring. But don't get me wrong, they might think that because they've been squandered for so long, like a Ricochet, let's say, or a Keith Lee. They might just be like, I need to go, or a Kevin Owens. Like, they're just like, I can only go so far.
I mean, going back to the Adam Cole situation, they were willing to throw money at him.
Yeah.
Go on to Raw or SmackDown, but he saw what they were doing to guys.
Right.
And he wanted nothing to do with that.
Right.
And then, like, honestly, if they played Adam Cole correctly, they could have made him like the next, like, Shawn Michaels.
Right. I agree. But again, because that's not a Vince creation, he's just like, I don't see it. I didn't do that. I don't know. Daniel Bryan the same way. Daniel Bryan wanted to work in New Japan, and like WWE presumably was willing to be like, okay, fine, you can work in New Japan, but like it wasn't good enough, for Bryan Danielson, the artist within the squared circle, he wants to have this industry that he loves and he works for and he works in to just succeed. That's the same thing that Mick Foley was getting at with his video. Like, he just wants to see success throughout the board. He doesn't want to see just one winner. He just wants everybody to do good. And right now it seems like everybody is doing good, but WWE could be doing better, especially if they're the leader in the industry, in sports entertainment.
100%. And then there was the huge. To me, I think this was a huge mistake. And you've disagreed because it's about money. Is the fact that the WWE Network moved to the cock,
right?
So it was just kind of like you had this whole fantastic library,
right,
of content.
Right.
Where you were showing everything, and now you're on something where they're editing your shit.
Right.
Another
master. Yeah.
Exactly. It's another master, which it's not. It is, but it's not, because they also run USA. So
they run USA, yeah, but they didn't have control over their back catalog. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have final say or whatever, or other advertisers to worry about now.
Exactly. They cut commercials into like crucial parts of matches, I feel.
Correct.
I can't remember SummerSlam. Did they cut commercials in the middle of matches?
I don't no, the live shows, no, they don't do that. If anything, you might get whatever advertising the pay-per-view, but you're not going to get 60 seconds of commercials. You might just get JVT Kaboom Box. Here you go. Here's that for that.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like it's just to me. I feel like you lost a lot of people. Like, I know I didn't re-sign up for the Peacock.
Well, okay.
To watch WWE.
It's not like we don't share the password or anything. Just don't get me.
I don't have the password.
Okay.
So I don't do that. That's wrong and bad.
That's illegal. Yes, don't do that. Nobody do that. I can't believe anybody would do something like that.
I know.
Fucked up.
So yeah, it's just I don't know, man. And now there's rumors that they might, WWE might be selling.
There was rumors of that, yeah. And again, I'm sure that makes business sense, but yeah, Nick Khan is he's like the president of operations or something like that. Like it's a weird thing where it's like Vince is like the CEO, but like he doesn't do the day-to-day business shit. So Nick is the one that's actually doing the releases, because he's just like, he's looking at like Braun Strowman's contract and he's like, nah, I don't want to pay this. Get out of here.
Stupid question. Any relation to Tony Khan?
No, I think it's like Smith.
Okay, no, yeah, I don't know, because it's just like, yeah, you're getting released. Hold on, go to my little brother's promotion. Vince
thought, Vince, who's never seen Scarface and getting a Scarface gimmick to Scott Hall, he probably just saw Khan and he's just like, oh, that's him. I got him. I'm gonna just snipe him. I got him right here. He's in my company now. And it's not the same guy. It's probably the case. He's not too bright. He's out of touch. He's absolutely out of touch. Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon had some great ideas. Like you said, he will be known for bringing professional wrestling to a mainstream audience. But he did a lot of harm to good. He killed the territories. A lot of wrestlers died under his watch. And I'm sure, don't get me wrong, as a human being, I'm sure he definitely feels for. But it's kind of tough to be just like, praise him for everything.
Yeah. He's not a good person.
Right.
At all.
Any other final notes, Tommy?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Okay, so we fixed WWE. Oh, you know what? Hey, Tom, what could WWE do to fix? Do you just want them to just be a little more like NXT, like 4 years ago? Just let the wrestlers wrestle, right?
Yeah, let the wrestlers wrestle. Tell a story in the ring. Enough of these stupid little backstage bullshit. Get rid of the 24/7 title.
It seems a little random, but okay.
No, I think it's just, I don't know.
You're not a fan.
I think it's ridiculous. I wasn't a fan of the 24/7 hardcore title. Because it's all right, especially if there's like a good match and that nonsense interrupts the match.
I got you.
It's unnecessary
right.
to interrupt talent doing their job.
Sure.
Because, Kevin Dunn thinks the fucking match might be fucking stale.
Right. Yeah, no, I got you. Or Vince might just be like, get him out there. Give me a laugh. I understand it. And it goes to the product. It's the product in general. So I hear you. I get it.
Yeah. Not a fan.
If that was Stone Cold Steve Austin going to stun some mid-carders, you'd be all about that.
Well, if it was like an Austin Michaels match and that shit happened and then they started stunning and super kicking people, I'd fucking be all about it, because it's just like, get the fuck out of my ring. Let us continue doing our shit.
They wouldn't do that there. It would be a Jeff Jarrett Owen Hart match or something like that. And Austin would just come in and stun things, which I think he's done on a Sunday Night Heat.
Well, that was during the Higher Power storyline.
All right. Okay. All right. What I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
And I was there for that.
Apples to oranges. Bitch, that phrase don't make no sense. Why can't fruit be compared?
I don't know.
Right.
Why can't
so that's how to fix it, right? Just get Vince out of power and just let the wrestlers wrestle.
Get Vince and his cronies out of power,
right?
And let Triple H run shit, because obviously he knows what he's doing.
Right.
Otherwise, huh?
No, it's just like, well, it depends who you ask.
Yeah. Well, there are people who hate him for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, what about you? What like, how do you think it should be fixed?
Well, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. They have to get a listen, I understand they have to kind of get, advertisers and shit on board. Like, they can't go blood and guts anymore. That's for sure. They can't go back to the Attitude Era. What AEW is doing, like, they let the wrestlers perform. They make things creative, and they try to touch on as much different talents and stuff as possible. And I think, like, just giving us fresh matchups. What you were saying, Tom, as far as like let the wrestlers wrestle, or what we were both saying, like, I don't think anyone in the current talent pool is really, like, quote unquote protected by the WWE style. Like John Morrison or Karrion Kross or Bobby Lashley, Sheamus, Drew Mack, Damian Priest, Riddle, Orton on the Raw side of things. Like, they could all succeed if they were just given their own tools, And I think that's really what it comes down to. If you let the wrestlers do what they were trained to do, what they want to do, what they love to do, that should help. The advertisers will come second, because then when the fans are engaged, then they'll come back. They will, then you'll see the numbers jump or whatever, the merch get bought, you know what I mean? Like, that's really what it comes down to. It can't be controlled the way that it's being controlled.
No.
And that's pretty much the problem with the WWE.
Fix yourself, WWE.
And on that note, Rude Nation,
Don't do it for you, goddammit.
Yeah, we would love to. Give us the keys of the kingdom. We'll take care of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Nation, on this lengthy non-wrestle special episode of the RudeBoyz PowerHour Plus. This is one of the first wrestling episodes of the PowerHour Plus we've done in a while.
Wow.
Usually, yep. Usually we kind of just make them wrestle specials, but this one was kind of important. We needed to get this one
special enough to not be a wrestle special.
That is true. Yes, the extra special. Speaking of special, next episode is our Castlevania anniversary talk. We're talking about Castlevania again, baby. We're gearing up for Rudetober. Last time we talked about Castlevania in a long form sense was definitely like in the single digits. Pretty boy vampire baby. So that should be exciting. I'm excited to talk about Castlevania's anniversary, which is coming up on 26th.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, can't wait to talk about that. But Nation, if you liked what you heard, hit us up on our social media accounts. Let us know what you think about what the WWE is doing. Where are you as a wrestling fan? Are you a wrestling fan? Could wrestling be doing something for you to get you to watch, or to keep you to watch, or to make you a hardcore fan? Let us know on our social media, on our Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Just search for RudeBoyz469 on those platforms. We have a YouTube.
We have a YouTube?
Yes, Tommy, we got a YouTube. You can find that YouTube page at bit.ly/RudeBoyz That's all lowercase. With Castlevania and Rudetober shit coming up, I don't know. Maybe we'll do something. We should do something. We should dust off the game club and replay Symphony.
My PS3's been on the fritz.
Oh no! What about your PS4? Don't you have the anniversary collection or whatever it is? Not the anniversary, the Bloodlines thing. Didn't you just buy that collection last year?
What? That Symphony of Night's not on the one that came out on the Switch.
No, I know, but didn't you buy Symphony and Rondo of Blood together?
I didn't.
Wasn't it bought?
Yeah, and the system that it was on is no longer here.
Where the fuck is it? Got rid of it?
Really? I did.
Oh, it was gotten rid of?
Yep.
Wow. Well, I mean, whoever bought it could just sign in and re-download it. Like, that shit still exists.
Yeah, I gotta see if it shows up on the list of apps.
It fucking better.
All
Sony
right.
owes you money now.
I'll check.
But yeah, we'll try to do something maybe on our Rudetober is definitely the big pinnacle of the year. So we got stuff planned for that. Don't you worry. What did I do? I did the social medias. I did the YouTubes. What is that? Is that a cod piece? Oh boy, I see what that is. It's not a cod piece. Oh no.
It might be.
It could be. I mean, anything could be a cod piece, really. Put your mind to it. Well, what else we got going on, Tommy? Our podcast app is you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn. Just search for RudeBoyz PowerHour Plus. All of our RudeBoyz podcasts are part of the RudeBoyz Podcast Network. Great branding, I think so. But our home away from home, our headquarters, the Titan Towers for our WWE is at rudeboyz.podbean.com.
Body slam that bean, brother.
If you want to hit me up on social media, I'm at Tesherms, TEH_SHERMS. I tweet about stuff and I post pictures of drinks.
If you want to get me, I am Tommy_Cash 80. That's cash for the K. I don't really do anything.
He does not. Yeah, he does not.
And it's always a surprise to Chris when I do.
Yes, it is, because you never do.
Yep.
So, yeah, thanks for joining us, Nation, on the RudeBoyz Power Hour Plus, episode 106, we said?
106, next episode.
Gosh, in the books. WWE, fix yourself. Or we fixed it for you. Or just we'll fix it for you.
There you go.
There you go. That's it. Goodbye.
Bye.
This has been a presentation of the RudeBoyz Podcast Network.
Oops.